Today I completed my 100,000 strikes, which I started in, I believe it was October of last year. December, I broke my ankle doing some sparring, and I had to take a break from training. I got back into it this spring. I was trying to work on myself, and I said it's time to finish. I'm just gonna show you a couple of the things that I spent my time doing. Defending, so backwards direction for everything. Pendulum step. Pendulum step, planting. I have advancing. So advancing looks like this. Advancing and retreating. So I've tried to integrate a strike into the advancing step or the retreating step. I like the check hook, which is just the lead hook, and then I plant and attempt to defend my position. And then advancing, I usually advance with a jab. I also will retreat like this and then come back with my straight. And so I'll set my steps. It'll look kind of like this. Advancing. There's been a lot of shadow boxing. I did some just running. You actually always see the great fighters striking and running. And then inside the ring, you see them running in on their opponent. Sometimes I would do that. Looks sloppy, but I wanted to learn more body positioning, different things when my feet come out of order or I'm trying to get somewhere fast. Sometimes they're running sideways. I also have lateral, so I never heard of anybody doing like left to right hopping in boxing, but I do see the guys go sideways in the fights. So I would be trying to do this. So moving left to right. I also would use my kid's trampoline as a center, and I would go around it facing the trampoline while striking. I try to integrate hooks into situations where I'm planting my feet, because with a hook, the hand is so far out, it's very hard to, I guess there's a lot of core. So I prefer to plant a little bit when I do my hooks. I feel like if I set myself up, I don't want to be in the air when I throw a hook. I think I could, but it's more advanced. So I'm trying to plant. So a lot of the time it's just like that pendulum step, transitioning to planting. 50 or 60,000 strikes in, I started integrating defensive work. So I've been kind of messy with defensive work, but they say, you know, move your head. You know, I'm trying to slip. Bobbing, I would say I struggle because I lose balance when I start to slip. I start to do this, and then my head gets all like dizzy. So that's funny because when I'm trying to do my strikes and I try to do defensive work, I'm so off balance, I feel like, and I get a little confused and sometimes my hands drop. I was watching tape of Mike Tyson. Of course, he had these broad shoulders and a short torso, and so he could get from here to here very quick, and it was always powerful for him. So I wanted to try to get that, you know, So I started integrating that recently. Last 10, 20,000 strikes I did. I started integrating that in my bag work. The repeating lead hook is one of the secrets to getting liver shots. So I started trying to get that repeating. So striking. Right? So I think they call it a shovel hook. You're down here. And defensively, of course, you can go there if someone is trying to hit you. So I was trying to do that. And then another thing is Mike Tyson always did switching, and he trained it a lot. So striking, that assumes you can achieve enough closeness to the opponent to strike within that liver area. People are very well defended on that side of the body, and they usually move back or to the side. And so I haven't been able to integrate any type of steps within that. When I do the switch, I've still done it stationary. The coach at my current gym has reminded me that my head should be, halfway under, the nose, the mouth should be very guarded by this arm and shoulder, and the same on the jab. So looking straight down, sighting that in, and getting that nice deep protective arm positioning. Early on, I was just doing jabs and crosses, and I was gonna do the whole 100,000 of just the jab and the cross. But I realized that I was going to start building habits that were too predictable, and then I needed to begin using the whole arsenal within this training, or I was gonna have to go back, and there was gonna be some catching up to do. So I wanted to make sure that the footwork was starting to come in, a little defensive, and of course the hooks and uppercuts are my least practiced strike, or any form of that, but I've tried to do some in my shadow boxing. So the bad habit that I began to form was I would be sparring with someone and I would always have my hands both out. So I started practicing repeating strike, so it looked like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that. What I wanted was to integrate the defensive work into the strikes from one hand, because what I would end up doing is attempting to defend using my jab when I should have been setting up for a power punch. In that particular case, like if this is a planted and getting low type scenario where I needed to be getting away from punches, right? You can't have your hands out here like this when you're doing that because the body doesn't allow it, and it sets you up where you can't land a hit. Like if I'm out here and I'm doing this, right? I'm trying to do that, it's very messy. So I wanted to try to improve sort of a responsive landings of those hits. So like if somebody was hitting me, boom, they hit, but let's say they missed a little bit and now I can come back. But when I was doing this, I was getting my hand out there, but I was running away, so there was no power. And that would only work if I was, you know, something like that, where I was still maintaining that high-speed footwork. Another close-up technique I was trying to begin, Floyd Mayweather seems to enjoy doing this, especially to his sparring partners. A lot of the greats in boxing or kickboxing, they're very capable of going back like this. It really applies the core. It really makes you work, and the abs and the stomach and the whole gut really feels that position. And then Floyd, all of a sudden, he goes like this, bop, and then he's laughing because he's setting the range. He's like, oh, you can't reach, I'm far away from you, boop, I'm actually close to you. And that's because his feet stayed in place and his body, his torso was going back like this. And that requires a lot of core stability. At the heavy bag, I would do it. I would get confused trying to avoid strikes because then I would be going forward like this, which I think you actually have to see the strike to apply that. 2,000 strikes, 3,000 strikes is a lot. I think it's more than most people are throwing in a session. I say for a lot of people, I see people train or I see people practice, they don't do a lot of repetitions. Your great fighters that are winning, they are training extremely hard. They are doing a lot of strikes. They are practicing a lot. They are shadowboxing a lot. They are not just going and playing with the other guys. They are also going home and taking homework and saying, I'm gonna do this hard thing and I'm gonna do it until it becomes easy for me. When I'm in the gym, I'm striking pads with somebody, like we're using a buddy in the gym, and I can feel that some people, they are not practicing on their own. They can't throw 100 strikes and they get tired. There's a personal level of training that says, I'm gonna make this happen for me. Like, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna do more, I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna spend the time. Do you know the difference between a guy whose punches look wild like this and a guy who's tight? Right? The tight fighter has done more training. You can do more training in less time. That's the thing. Life has limited time. I'm cool with having fun. Like, for a lot of people, it really is about a lifestyle and having fun. For me, it's not. It is a lifestyle, but it's about results. I wish that I could be one of those people who said life is about the journey. In a way, life is about the journey, but when it comes to your training, life is about the results. That's where I'm at with this. I'm so glad I finally achieved 100,000. Enjoy this little video. I know my form is getting pretty sloppy on this, but I'm still gonna share it with you because it's a great triumph for me. And I know that you guys can receive a little motivation from this. So Tony Jeffries, I saw you. You did over 100,000, right? In one day. So I'm so impressed. I can't believe it. Of course, I could never do that, but I watch those videos all the time. Tony Jeffries, love you, man. All right, have a great day, guys. See you later. The last clip you're gonna see, I'm very tired. I've already done 2,400 strikes, and I called my wife out to watch me do my last 100 of the 100,000, but I'm a little bit wiped. I'm showing some bad habits, but guys, this has been worth it. The time has been well spent, and you're gonna see, if you do it too, you're gonna see that it really, really works.